So it's a problem about insurance. If you are a producer and dealers, you need to share 10 years insurance with the installer. It is in the law because we have a special building code. You need to have a technical evaluation of your product. And also, we have a great attention about aesthetical aspect and durability. So it is really a battle for the industry of the PV because they need to become an industry, not only PV, but industry of building component. It's a new challenge. So, but PV in France is not only for building. In overseas department in Corsica, but also in the south of France, solar park and grid system will be developed, and they are developing. I think one of my members informed me that he have the final permit and the work is running now for a ground-mounted system in France in the Var. So we can develop PV without BIPV solution, but it's not the main market. So market tendencies for this year, leads by private for small system, BIPV system, and large BIPV system for tertiary building. Actually, it is the heart of the market. It is small system and bigger system, but always BIPV solution. Ground-mounted system play key roles in the south of France. Globally, between 60 to 70% of the global French PV market is in the mainland metropole, and 40 to 30% in overseas department. You need to think that mainly the French people are living in mainland, in metropole. So the market is not so, we have a big market in overseas department, but they have few French people, so not so big consumption. Perhaps you have specific for Réunion, for example, they want to produce a lot of the energy with renewable energy, but for the big market, mainland it's have a bigger role. Region are also important. If you come back to the beginning, the first slide, the region implication is important to develop, to boost the market at the regional level. Some of them give subsidies, other one have a call for project, BIPV and PV in rooftop. So the focus for this year should be 120 to 150 megawatt. And we're in discussion now is going about the revision of the feed-in tariff. We have a meeting next Friday to start the negotiation with the government what will be the next feed-in tariff for 2009. So actually, it's a big question. I don't have the answer now. Perhaps you have some piece of information, but the negotiation is starting. We voted in the General Assembly of Enerplan this June to keep the actual feed-in tariff, the structure, but also to add a new one for the rooftop, because I think it should be really a new market, new emerging market in France to have rooftop feed-in tariff. Between the BIPV with the bonus and the feed-in tariff in the mainland, you need to have something between. So that was the market. One of the conditions of the market, I said that residential, and particularly the small system, was at the heart of the market. But if you spoke about small system, you are speaking about installer. So we have developed in France a specific approach with QualiPV. It's a qualification for the installer. So it will be launched officially last November. Based on the Calisol success. Calisol is a quality chain for installing solar thermal. We have more than 12,000 installers on solar thermal with Calisol, involved in Calisol. It's a voluntary engagement for 3 years with an annual request. The installer needs to choose or not for QualiPV E for electricity or QualiPV B for building services. So the roofer and the electrician can be involved in the same QualiPV mark. So how to be Qualisol? You need to have a previous experience. So the beginner installer, we was already involved in the PV sector. Now just can jump in the label. Or from main installer is to follow a specific solar PV training to become QualiPV. So what is the PV? The duration is 3 days. For an electrician, an activity need to follow 3 days of training to be quality PV electric, or 1 day for roofer to be quality PV building. Insurance for solar installation activity is requested each year. So we are at the beginning, and after we control each year that the installer have his insurance for the solar installation. It is really important because when you are working with a 10 years insurance guarantee, you need to make some verification before. So what done quality PV? We're working for quality audit chains 1 time or more in 3 years. So actually we are working for the solar thermal, for example. This year we will make more than 5,000 control for solar domestic individual system. So the idea is to have the same scheme of quality control with the PV. We have an annual fees more than 100 euros. It's not so much. We offer services like a technical outline and tools for communication, free of charge for the member. And now we have a network well recognized. I think it's a strong network, it will be, but it's also really a dynamic network. More than 2,000 installers now are involved in quality PV. We officially launched last year in November, but it was in application in February. So between February and July, more than 2,000 installers was involved. We expect for the end of the year 3,000 of installers, and perhaps for the next year between 7,000 to 8,000 in 2009. So why so much interest and so dynamic? Because we are Loyen, we work for quality PV schemes, developing a training center network to be quality PV. We offer training of training schemes for the installer, contract with the training center. We have some material requirements for the technology, and we sign contract with them. We offer the same training framework for the manufacturer. We sign EFICA PV chart for the industry training offer. So actually, it was, I think it's the figure is from June now, we can update, but more than 21 training center was under contract to make quality PV installer. We had 35 trainers recognized and 10 manufacturers involved. And for quality PV BAT, it was less, with 5 training center, 6 trainers recognized, and 2 manufacturers involved in EFICA PV charts. So this figure now are growing. We expect for the end of the year more than 30 or 35 training center, for example. So, and more we have training center, more we could have quality PV installer in the future. So it is like a success for us. So we have a map when you can show where is the training center. And if you want to know more about quality PV, you have also the internet site. Thanks for your attention, I think, and I hope not to be so long, and I'm open to the question. You're welcome.